Hello, my name is Doug, and welcome to part 12 of Let's Play Final Fantasy 1. It's been a little bit since I've recorded one of these, so I'm anxious to get back into this. So today we will be entering the Citadel of Trials. We are entering the Citadel so we can begin the final step in upgrading our characters' classes. Oops, skipped the line of dialogue. Your fortitude cannot be questioned, indeed not. Very well, I shall grant you the right to undergo the trials. Go now, sit upon the throne. Your courage will be put to the test. If true courage dwells within you, you will find proof of it here. And the old guy's gone. And so here on the first floor there's nothing much to do except go right here and sit on this throne. Oops. Okay, cool. So just a heads up, my fan's on in the background. Sorry if that's causing any background noises. Thing is it's just really hot right now. It's like July 3rd, I think, and everything is just hot and uncomfortable. So yeah, my fan's on just to help me avoid dying. I put it on low setting, so here's hoping. So here on the second floor we have a maze puzzle. There's gonna be less combat encounters, so it's very likely we'll get through this area without any fighting whatsoever, but there is a possibility of some fights. It's just lower, so that way it's a little easier to navigate. And now I'm trying to go off of memory here because I looked up the map recently. I just don't know if it's still here all in my head, but just in case I will pull up the map so I have it. But anyways, let's try this. If I pick wrong, then it'll send me actually right back to the start of the room. So let's go here. I think this is it. So there's only one treasure chest on this floor, and that is the gauntlet. Gauntlet's a really cool item that allows you to cast the spell Thundara without using any MP. Basically, the gauntlet can be equipped on your characters, but the thing is that, oh boy, I am getting lost. Yep, I am lost. All right. Here we go. Oh yeah, I forgot that holding down the B button will make you, I think it increases your combat counter rate. The enemies in this dungeon are actually really easy. Like, even though this is called the Citadel of Trials, it is objectively, I think, probably one of the easier dungeons, just considering how everything's laid out. Like, there's only 3 floors, and after this maze, it's pretty straightforward. Like, the 3rd floor is like really simple. Alright. Ooh, mind flayers. These guys gave me a lot of trouble last time around. But yeah, so I was talking about that gauntlet. Basically the gauntlet, instead of like equipping it, because it can be equipped on like your as like your arm in that slot, if you go into the inventory, like if you're choosing a potion or an ether, basically you just pick that up and choose it, and then it would, and you hit use like a potion, and then it'll do Thundara, I think, based on your stats. So it's pretty useful item. There's a couple more like it. There's one really useful one for heal, and it's really useful for exploiting enemy weaknesses, especially coming up, because there's gonna be dungeons with very specialized very specialized enemies, and so that gauntlet, because it will be able to damage specifically with thunder. We're going up to a water dungeon coming up, and that's just gonna be really useful, and it's more just so that way you can save MP using like those catch-all spells, instead of just wasting all your MP on using Thundara. But yeah, that's the only treasure on this floor, and it's gonna be in this room coming up right here. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot. This was actually the one mandatory encounter on this floor. I think Blizzara beats these guys. We'll see. I'm gonna use Healer just to be safe. But yeah, it's been a little while since I've done one of these. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I'm still kind of rambling along with my commentary and stuff. A lot of ahs, ums, and stuff, and using a lot of stuff too. But I don't know. I'm happy to be back doing this, and you know, I don't know. I got kind of lazy. A lot of I don't knows too. But yeah, I got kind of lazy these past couple weeks because I recently turned 21, and you know, like it's your birthday, so I just kind of decided, hey, I'm going to right now actually show off that okay, where is it? Alright, let's okay, you know what? Okay, yep. Nope. Alright, you know what? I'm not gonna show it off just yet. Let's go Firaga. And heal we go. But yeah, I guess for my 21st birthday, you know, 21, I decided to kind of just take it easy. I got really busy with work. I do pizza deliveries, so got kind of caught up with that. And you know, like, we all make excuses sometimes. I think just, you know, when something hard that we do that makes us better, we kind of put it off. I think that's kind of what I was doing, because even if like the quality of my you know, videos don't exactly speak to it, playing this game, you know, let's playing it and just doing commentary and making these videos, it makes me feel better. And you know, that's why I do it, because you know, I just feel like I'm doing a little bit better every time. So this third floor, very straightforward, just a straight hallway, and the mandatory encounters are actually just going to be right like at corners along the way. It's not gonna be in front of chests this time around. So it's gonna really help things out. Everyone's already full, so I'm just gonna quickly get some ethers. Really wasn't paying attention. Yeah, like you can tell I'm a lot more casual about this dungeon than the prior one. God, the last one was horrible. But yeah, I feel like this dungeon's more of a, you know, it's that maze specifically. You know, try not to get too tuckered out. And this is an entirely optional area. So, basically, I figured that the game developers, and like, no, this is remix, so they probably made it a little easier. But I figured like the game developers were thinking that, you know, the last dungeon was really hard, and in order to get to this dungeon, you have to, you know, clear the last one. So, you know, I figured they just decided to make it a little bit easier on us. And this is the healing stuff that I was talking about. And actually, now that's got me thinking, I'm going to sort all the items, and I am going to... Alright, we're gonna move you right below the Phoenix Downs. Alright. And where's all the extra equipment? Okay, no. Okay, yeah, no. So, I know I just said that, you know, when it comes to these special items that you don't equip them, but actually you do. I'm thinking about in Final Fantasy IV, because in 4 you can access them from your inventory like it's no big deal, like it's just going to be right there in the bottom. But not in this game. So, I'm going to see who can, Oh. That's interesting. I am confusion. Okay. Just check that. Gauntlets actually are only equipable by the upgraded classes. So it's gonna be a hot sec before we get to use that. But alright. Let's okay, so I think it's alright to use the healing staff. Lily doesn't do much combat damage anyways, so sorry for that little diversion. And we're fighting these guys again, because stepping on the tile means we have to fight again. But yeah, the enemies go down pretty quickly. Like, I mean, last dungeon I was talking about how, like, enemies, you kind of reach this point where you take down the enemies pretty quickly, and then but they can take you down pretty quickly if you aren't careful. This is definitely, I think, the easier dungeon to prep you for the stuff to come. Like, we just got the gauntlets, and we just got that ice brand, and both of those are going to be useful for 2 of the coming up dungeons. But anyways, so I should probably go over what the treasures are on this dungeon. So we got the healing staff already, along with the ruby armlet, ice brand, and the steel gloves. To round off the rest of the treasures in this dungeon, we have a cottage, 1455 gil, and 7,340 gil. Which isn't objectively, you know, the biggest. It's kind of small change compared to everything else. But I'm guessing it's it helps, and it probably will later on. And that's where the gauntlets are, aren't they? So I might just be wrong again, so we'll see, because I might have just confused myself, and I think I might have grabbed the yeah, I think what's happened is I grabbed another item, and I got my notes all messed up and everything, so so yeah, I'm still very new at this. Right, let's use these gauntlets now. Alright, and we are going to poison away. Okay, yep. So I was right the first time. And they went down pretty quick. And we got a level up. 2 level ups. Alright. Bum bum. Nope. Okay. So now there's one final treasure chest, and that will contain the prize, the whole reason we came here. It contains a rat's tail. Yep. That is the mythical item we need to get in order to complete our quest and upgrade our characters to their final level. And we also have to fight this dragon zombie. So this is the last mandatory encounter, and I'm not too worried about it. The extra levels we got from, you know, fighting in the ice cavern, I think really made a difference, and kind of, I won't say trivialize, but just definitely simplifies the whole dungeon for us. So yeah, we are sitting at about 12 minutes. I think we're making pretty good time, and now that we have the rat's tail, it's time to go to the dragon's cave. But first we have to actually get back to the airship, because I forgot you can't park it right next to your dungeon. I think that's the one complaint I have about the world design, and I guess that's a complaint for like a lot of these SNES era games, was that just like world map, it could be kind of inconvenient at times with the airship. Like, it's not too big a deal, but like I'm trying to keep these videos under like 20 minutes sometimes, so it can be a little hard when you know, because I like to keep random encounters in, because occasionally I have something cool to say, and more often than not, like, I like to keep these in, because, like I said, I might say something cool, and, you know, it gives a more authentic experience. I don't like the jump cutty stuff, and I'm not the best at editing, so it's kind of one of those things. Whew. We got another level up. I'm trying to think of some like off-topic thing for me to ramble like on about, because that's kind of like what my thing is. Ooh, we haven't fought these guys, I think. Don't remember much about them, but I think everything's gonna be okay. If not, it'll be interesting at least. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something off-topic to talk about, because that's just kind of my thing. And, like, you know, there's not a whole lot of, like, NPCs that I can, you know, voice and play around with, so... I'll figure it out. Yeah. I guess kind of going back, like, I think I want to talk about, like, making these videos and stuff. Like, I think it's really trial and error for me. Like, this first Final Fantasy game, it's like... I started this in the winter, it's now the summer, and I'm feeling that. You know, I think getting this done, I think is going to be like a big accomplishment personally for me. And you know, if anyone's watching this, you know, I hope you can find that strength and the motivation to finish any personal projects you might have, because, I don't know, speaking for me, like, that feeling of finishing every video, one of the best feelings in the world. And it's very simple, but like, you know, I try not to take it for granted. So there's a system of caves here. Basically, oh, come on. Oh, yep, can't land there. Okay, can we land here? Okay, cool, yeah. So there's these holes in the ground are... That's not where we're supposed to go. That's a dungeon. I can't remember if that's actually one of the bonus dungeons or not. And I don't know why I took off, because we're trying to go to the other one. But except for that hole in the ground, I think this most of these holes in the ground are the Dragon's Cave, which we need to go to, because that is where we can complete the transformation sequence and unlock our new classes. And basically, it gives access to depending on each class, you get access to new equipment, new spells, and some classes actually gain the ability to cast spells for the first time. Alright, here we go. So, because there's multiple entrances to these caves, I'm just going to list all the treasures in a random order. Nothing particular. Alright. So, okay, cool. Starting out, we have the elixir. There's going to be a cottage, tent, a dry ether, a golden needle, 500 gil, an X potion, 9,500 gil, 2,750 gil. I always have a hard time saying, like, numbers and stuff. Like, maybe it makes me stupid or something, but just like pronouncing them can be a little tough on me. And after that, there's 1,520 gil, 2,750 gil, 2,000 gil, and then finally 1,455 gil. And it's all spread out randomly throughout these caves. And also, there are dragons to talk to. They aren't like the bats, and they aren't enemies actually. They're friends, I guess. Once, long ago, the Northland was filled with beautiful shrines and towering mechanical castles. So very long ago. So, like, also, there are no combat encounters in the Dragon Cave, I think. But the thing I like about the dragons is they look a lot like Charizard, and they kind of remind me of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, which they're a spin-off of the Pokemon video games. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is basically game where it's very similar to this in like design, where you explore dungeons and you actually are a Pokemon. Like, you take a little quiz at the beginning and you're given a Pokemon to basically be, and you choose a starter Pokemon, and you get to see like all the Pokemon look like these really cool like sprite down versions of them like this. Anyways, let's see what this guy has to say. It is a rare thing to have humans visit us here. If you are valiant warriors, you should speak with Bahamut, our king. The dragons of Drgaon Islands have no love of senseless killing. So these are called the Drgaon Islands. I never knew that. Like, the thing is that, like, I never actually talked to NPCs. Like, it was very rare, like, unless, like, the walkthrough I'm following mentions that I had to. I didn't see much point in it, and, like, I really missed out on, like, the, I guess, deeper lore of this, because, like, some of the NPCs do have, like, very redundant things to say. And this is actually, I think, the most important room. Once, long ago, there was an age when man and dragon lived together. Okay. I think that hallway actually leads to Bahamut. I want to quickly get the rest of these caves out of the way, just so we can get all the treasure, and we can end on a very dramatic and climactic moment. Have you spoken with our king, Bahamut? The Dragon King confers a great honor upon the brave. It is customary for a dragon to venture northeast to the Citadel of Trials. There he must test his mettle by claiming a token of courage from within. Alright. The form the token of courage takes changes with the times. Do not let its appearance deceive you. Oh, hey, that's the explanation for it. Like, I was confused because I thought, like, maybe the rats had something to do with, like, a particular legend of, like, oh, hey, worms. And we're on a dragon island place. That's cool. But I thought, like, the rat's tail, like, might have some, like, sort of cultural significance. Like, it might be part of a specific legend from, like, I don't know, like, Arthurian times. Because this is, you know, based off of, like, Dungeons & Dragons. And Dungeons & Dragons is obviously, like, you know, a Western thing. So I thought, hey, maybe it has something to do with that. Or it might be something from, like, Japanese folklore. Because this is a game based off of, based out of Japan. And no, this is actually this is the hallway that leads to Bahamut. I was wrong about that other place, so we're going to have to go back. The maps I was using kind of are a little vague about, like, what area goes to where. And, you know, like, I can't complain about this, the, like, walkthroughs I've been using, because, like, they've been so helpful, and this is a dead-end room. Okay. Okay. But, that being said, you know, like, it leaves me a little confused, and part of, like, my, kind of pointless wanderings and me getting confused are because I probably should double check, and I think in the future I'm going to maybe route out some areas, like, because unfortunately this is, like, when you're playing blind, it's okay if you get confused, I think, like, because, you know, I've grown up watching Let's Players, like, since I was a kid, and, you know, when you're playing blind, it's, like, one thing, and, like, everyone is kind of a little more indulgent of your faults and mistakes, but, like, when you're playing like me, trying to remember everything, because, like, I played this game last year, but I'm just like, I think it's here. Like, it's, I don't know, at least on my end, it feels like I'm kind of making a mistake. I need to be a little bit better about this. So, let's talk to this guy. You do not fear me. You have some spine in you, human. So I think this is the last of the dragon caves. We got 1, 2. That's not an actual place. Aha, one more. Felt like I didn't get all the loot that we could have. Let's grab you. It's funny because, like, you know, starting out the game, like, these, like, gil amounts was, like, what I was grinding for, and then it's like, it's kind of chump change by now, but it does help. Like, it definitely adds up, and I'm not complaining about getting access to it right now. Also, those pots, be careful, because they will send you right back up to the top, which isn't too big of a problem, but you know, it's more time, and, you know, time is precious. Only the truly brave can obtain a token of their courage. So yeah, basically, if you happen to go to this area before you complete the Citadel of Trials, Bahamut won't give you your class change, and basically all the NPCs seem to be, like, telling you, hey buddy, you should probably go do this. But anyways, now I just need to remember, I think it's is it this one? I need to remember which nope. Okay, it's the other one. I'm getting so lost. like it's funny because like I just started playing Fallout 4 today, and like that game navigation is so easy. Like it literally shows you where to go, what every like location is. Like, is it a vault? Is it a dungeon? Is it a town? It's like good luck. But we're approaching the 24-minute mark, and we're just in time to meet the King of the Dragons. In Dungeons and Dragons, actually, he is known as the All-Father, the King of the Gods. This is the Chamber of Bahamut, the Dragon King. Mind your tongue. The Dragon King looks within to measure a person's true courage. This is the kingdom, and I guess the domain of Bahamut. So Bahamut is, most people know him as a summon in Final Fantasy. The whole series. He's been spread throughout for pretty much every game following this one. Summoning is something that you can do in other games where basically you can summon a monster to help you, and Bahamut is one of the most famous ones. Bahamut also has his origins most popularly being depicted as a dragon in Dungeons and Dragons, where he's kind of the high god, essentially, like the Zeus, Odin-like character, the head of the pantheon. And Bahamut apparently has some basis in, I think, Arabic mythology, I believe, of some kind, where he's depicted either as a dragon or a whale of some kind. I'm not as familiar with that origin, and I want to apologize if I upset anybody's like culture or anything, but let's talk to this Bahamut, who is a dragon. Oh my god, what kind of voice am I going to do for this guy? Long has it been since men of courage stood before me. Your bravery would seem worthy of consideration. The rat's tail you carry is a fitting token of courage and strength. So be it. I shall honor you with titles befitting your valor. And we have upgraded our classes. This doesn't happen a lot in Final Fantasy. As Final Fantasy got more story-based, characters, their classes, quote-unquote, like, changing them stopped becoming such a big deal. Usually it became like, the character got a special weapon or unlocked a new ability. But, I think this is my favorite moment in the game, just because, one, it opens up a lot more gameplay opportunities, but two, it's just like a really cool moment, especially considering the fact this is completely optional. Like, obviously, if you're following a walkthrough, it'll tell you to do this at this point in the game, but it's just like a really cool goodie you can find that you might not know about if you're playing the game blind. And the fact that like I said in earlier episodes, that people figured all this out on their own, probably, I think that's a really cool thing. So I briefly want to go over what promotion means, or promotion. Basically, all the characters have changed their classes. Sid has become a knight, Walt has become a red wizard, Monty has become a master, and Lily has become a white wizard. Basically, knights are capable of using white magic now, which some basic healing spells and the like. It's nothing too crazy. The knight is kind of like the early precursor for the Final Fantasy paladin, which is basically this, like, warrior who uses a lot of white magic and stuff. But like, his white magic spells are going to be useful. I'm going to, in between videos, definitely going to find the right ones to pick for him and then pick them up. Walt gains access to a few more spells, enough to make him a little more viable. Not as many as the Black Mage and the Black Wizard, unfortunately, but he's definitely going to be not as restricted as he was before, and he gets a little more utility. Monty got upgraded to a Master. He unfortunately does not get any new spells. but he hits a lot harder, has a little more HP, and he gets a really cool robe coat thing. And Lily, she gains access to even more white magic spells, very, very useful, and her stats just increase in total as well. For those of you who are curious about the other classes, the Thief gets upgraded to a Ninja, and along with the upgraded stats, also gains access to black magic. Kind of similar to the Knight, they don't have quite as many spells available to them, but it's kind of along the same lines of like utility spells, so like Sid's gonna be getting probably Protect and the like, whereas the Black Mage would probably get like Haste and Temper. And not the Black Mage, but the Ninja would get access to those black magic spells. And speaking of the Black Mage gets upgraded to the Black Wizard, who gains more black magic spells. So yeah, that's basically promotion. It's not like the grandest thing ever, and other games do a better job of like the whole class upgrading thing. Like Fire Emblem does this really cool, and it's like a game mechanic that you're kind of expected to do. But I'm really happy we did this. It's a really cool thing. I love this interaction with Bahamut. It's really cool to see dragons getting depicted as, good guys, in a sense. Like, it's like very popular in fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, Smaug, and everything, to have dragons be bad guys. I mean, there's that really popular book series, Aragorn, that came out not too long ago that, had dragons as good guys. But one of my biggest complaints in terms of like fantasy and just like not fiction in general is the always evil races. Like, I hate that so much. Like, there's no way an entire group of people is going to be completely evil. And so, like, I love this depiction of dragons, having them just be like everyone else, but also able to help you out in this way. Really cool thing. We're running pretty close to about half an hour on this, so I just want to say thank you, everyone. Bit of a different episode, one of those in-betweeners, but we're going to be starting to finish our quest to get the next 3 crystals, and I promise you it's going to go by a lot faster than it did to get the first one. But as always, I'm Doug, and I'm happy you're here. See you guys later.